Welcome to this explainer. Before we even dive in today, I just want you to take a quick second to settle in. Maybe take a slow, deep breath with me. Today we're exploring something deeply human, something literally almost all of us experience, but very rarely stop to actually look at. We're going to unpack the architecture of presence, and we'll unlock the psychology behind what it really means to have a mindful brain in a wildly chaotic world. So, let me start things off by asking you a very direct question. Have you ever caught yourself realizing that your body is right here, but your mind is just somewhere else entirely? Just let that question settle for a second. Really think about it. Is your body here, right now, but your attention is drifting away? It's such a strange feeling, isn't it? I mean, your physical location might be sitting right there at the dinner table. The food looks absolutely amazing, you're physically going through the motions of eating, but mentally, you are miles away, totally consumed by tomorrow's busy schedule. Or maybe you're lying in bed. The room is finally dark, it's completely quiet, but mentally your brain is just screaming, replaying a conversation from 3 days ago. You might even be nodding and smiling at someone right in front of you while an entirely different conversation is happening inside your head. Well, if any of that hits close to home, please know you are absolutely not alone. We literally all do this.
To really get why this disconnect happens, we're going to look at Ben. Ben's going to be our proxy for this explainer. Now, if you look at Ben from the outside, the guy looks perfectly calm. He's just going about his day like the rest of us, grabbing his coffee, checking his phone, plugging away at work. To anyone walking by, everything is completely fine and normal.
But let's peek under the hood for a second. Inside Ben's mind, it is a chaotic place, and it rarely ever stops. His brain is just bouncing from one worry to the next. He's replaying old mistakes on this endless loop, and he's constantly cooking up these wild, worst-case, what-if scenarios. And before Ben even realizes what's happening, the actual present moment has just totally slipped through his fingers. His coffee gets cold, the day flies by, and honestly, he wasn't really there for any of it. Now, here's the really surprising part, and we miss this all the time when we're being hard on ourselves. This constant mental chatter, it doesn't mean Ben is weak, and it definitely doesn't mean his brain is broken. If you do this, it is not some flaw in your character. Actually, Ben's brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do over thousands of years. It's a survival machine. It's trying to protect him by constantly scanning the horizon for threats, trying to solve problems before they even happen to keep him safe. But here's the catch. Here is where that ancient survival mechanism gets totally tripped up in our modern world. Sometimes, the threat is literally just a thought. Our brilliant problem-solving brains just don't register that a passing worry isn't an actual physical danger. So your brain reacts to a harmless thought about, say, a work deadline with the exact same panic and physiological urgency as if a real physical threat was standing in the room with you right now. So what does this all mean? Well, the good news is that psychology has actually found a specific skill to help people like Ben step out of all that noise. But we need to clear up a massive misconception right now. Despite what you might see from influencers on social media, mindfulness is absolutely not about emptying your mind. It is not about unlocking some magical state of perfect calm where you never ever have a stressful thought again. No way. In fact, if you try to force your thoughts to stop, you're just going to create way more frustration and noise. The real reality here, it's all about changing how you relate to those thoughts. It's about understanding your mind so it stops running your entire life on autopilot.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How does Ben step off that autopilot? Well, it boils down to 3 super practical steps. Step 1, notice the thought. When that random worry pops up, that big worst-case scenario about his job, he spots it happening. Step 2, don't follow it. He doesn't let it drag him down a downward spiral of anxiety. And step 3, come back to the room. He actively pulls his focus right back to his immediate physical reality. It really all starts with this tiny, simple internal shift. Instead of panicking or spiraling out, Ben learns to just say to himself, "Oh, there's that thought again. That's it." He isn't wrestling the thought into submission. He isn't judging himself for having it. He's literally just watching it. And by doing that, by just noticing the worry and giving it a gentle label, he steps back. He becomes the observer of his mind rather than fighting it and making things worse. And this brilliantly illustrates why that tiny shift is a total game changer. By taking that split-second pause just to watch his thought, Ben breaks the autopilot mechanism. And that pause gives him something incredibly powerful, the choice. He suddenly realizes he has an active decision to make. He can either choose to stay trapped in that exhausting mental loop, getting pulled further away from reality, or he can choose to come right back to the room, back to the warmth of the coffee mug in his hand, back to the actual human being sitting across from him.
Which brings us to the absolute core of this explainer. Mindfulness is, quite simply, the architecture of being present. It's the practice of coming home to yourself over and over again. And I really want to highlight those words, a practice and over again. It's not some magic cure. Ben is still going to have busy thoughts, because we all do, but he is building the active, repeated architecture to return to himself. He's learning that he doesn't have to be a prisoner to his own racing mind.
Because at the end of the day, the grand illusion is that life is happening in the what-ifs of tomorrow or the if-onlys of yesterday. Our minds are always trying to pull us backward into the past or push us forward into the future. But the reality, the undeniable truth, is that life is only happening right here, right now, literally in this exact moment and nowhere else.
So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with one final, lingering thought to just sit with. Wherever you are right now, take a deep breath. Feel your feet resting on the ground. Tell me, where is your mind right now?